Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to have myself a regular old tropical 7-Up, and we're going to answer the philosophical question of, what is the perfect life-work balance? Or is there a perfect life and work balance, and what does it look like? For those of you that don't know, I am a food blogger. I purchase things like this tropical 7-Up in order to write reviews for my blog. I then have to use them up, so I decided to incorporate them into these videos in order to give me something to do and pace myself on the consumption of sugary things. And in addition, for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean. 4Ocean will then pull a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. I am giving you an opportunity to do something good for the world. Don't waste it. Now, the thing about work and life balance is that ideally you would have a job that you enjoy, so it doesn't matter how much you're doing it. I mean, you have enough time for your family and friends, but you love your job, and if your job is that profitable, you probably make a lot of friends there. It's just one of those things about that particular concept is that, it's like Rick Moranis was an actor and he took time off acting to take care of his family. He said, you know what, I don't like acting that much, so I'm going to stop doing it. And he did. Well, that's why we don't see him in any more Ghostbusters movies. All right? If you look at what I'm doing here, one of the things that I would like to do is get to the point where I can hire people to do my editing for me. And if I got to the point where I could hire people to do my editing for me, then I would be able to make more videos in less time. And that's just, it's one of those things about balance, is that I would be able to have a higher output. But, you've got people like Charles Schultz, the inventor of Charlie Brown. He worked the last day of his life because he was doing what he loved. If you're doing what you love, you don't ever need to retire because you're doing what you love. Why would you retire? That doesn't make sense. Now, you've got jobs that inherently have a poor life balance. Doctors make a lot of money, but they have a lot of on-call time, and that on-call time really sucks. But the trade-off is that you do make a hell of a lot of money. That's why you're a doctor. Thing about those sort of careers. But then the average American, the average Los Angelino, is working 2 jobs. They have an extremely poor life balance because it's expensive to live. Kind of that thing. I mean, I believe firemen, they have something like 24-hour shifts or whatever it is, and you're at the firehouse 24/7. If a call comes in, you get up and you deal with it, no matter what it is. And so if you're there for 3 days, you get as much sleep as you need in those 3 days while you're dealing with calls. You've got a bunk, and that's just what you do. And then the rest of the time you're off. If there's a big emergency, they call you at home and say, hey, get to work. That's the fire season. So, yeah, I mean, if you did that 3 days out of a 7-day week, you'd have a pretty good life balance, because 3 days of working, something happens, you're on it. Nothing happens, you're not on it. That's the way the world works. It's a really sweet deal. You come off at the end of your shift, and then even if you have to sleep for day number 4, You've got 3 more days to party before you got to be back to work. It is granted that while you're at work, you better be taking good care of yourself, and while you're partying, you better be taking good care of yourself, but that's a good life balance. But the problem with the question, what is a good work-life balance, is that it depends on the work and it depends on the life. A good job of any kind is going to give you the money you need to live a good, solid life. It's going to cover all of your expenses and allow you to do things like go on vacation and unwind. And I mean, the more stressful a job is, the more time you need away from it to unwind. And that's the problem, is that this is a question that can only be answered based on every individual and what they're doing. You know, if, for example, you're a mechanic, okay, how much do you even like working on cars? If what you do in your spare time is work on cars, you don't need much of a life balance, do you? Your life is already balanced. You go to work every day and do what you love. However, if you don't like working on cars, you need more time off. I mean, you know, if your thing is you're a mechanic, but you love to fish, well, then, you know, you want as few days in the shop as possible and as many days on the lake as possible. That's being a mechanic. If you like being a mechanic, but you also like fishing, yeah, you go fishing on the weekends. It's no big thing. You know, that's how life works. Then again, if you're a commercial fisherman and your passion is cars, then you go work on cars on your free time. And why aren't you a mechanic? Maybe being a commercial fisherman is in your family. Maybe you own the business. I don't know. It's just one of those things, is that the world we live in is complicated, and so are people. Finding the ideal work-life balance is hard, and it's something that, well, only you can do for yourself. I might know what it looks like for me, but I don't know what it looks like for you. Anyway, thank you for sharing this moment with me. I'm Richard. Hi everybody, I'm Danger Ducky, and this is the part of the video where I remind you to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm also giving time for there to be links to the next video and subscriptions. You should comment, like, and subscribe, because for every 1,000 subscribers, this channel will buy a bracelet from For Ocean, and that will pull a pound of trash out of the ocean. It's a big ocean, and there's a lot of trash there. We also buy medals from the Conqueror, and every one of those means that 5 trees are planted, so that we will have a cleaner world for you and me to live in. Danger Donkey says, be a good Samaritan, float like a butterfly, and comment, like, and subscribe!